Hello and welcome to a new Garden of Designs tutorial. I'm Amalia and today we are making a zip bag. Let's begin by putting some stabilizer into our hoop and doing the first contour on the stabilizer. The first part that we are making for the zip bag is the back, the part with the zipper. Now it will do the stitch that shows you where to place your zipper. So you will need to place your zipper right between these lines and tape it down here like you see us doing right here. So the zipper is facing up, and make sure to secure it in place, and the machine will sew it on the sides so it stays put. After this is finished, we are adding the fabrics. The first two pieces, a piece of polar fleece and cotton right here on the front, as you can see, and then we flip the hoop to add another piece on the back, and also make sure it stays in place. Flip it back and it will do a stitch to keep all these three pieces of fabric in place. Now we are removing the tape and flipping the top part towards the bottom, and please make sure to leave the back as it is. Notice we did not flip that one, only the front. Now it will do the stitch that shows you where to place the applique fabric for the corner applique. And now you will add the piece of fabric, tape it down so it stays in place, and stitch over it to keep it in place. And now you can see it stitched the fabric down, and then you will have to remove the hook from the machine and very carefully use a scissor. We have a curved edge scissor, and you have to cut around this applique. It may be a little challenging, especially for the smaller versions, and if you do have mobility issues, you can skip this applique altogether and leave it plain, at least on the back. So it is a bit intricate, but it also looks very nice, like a splash of color. And now we just have to repeat the same process on the other side. So it will do the placing stitch for the applique, and then you add the fabric, and then of course you cut everything. And of course, after you cut, it will do the satin stitch all around the applique. When this is all done, we remove the hoop, and only now we are going to flip the fabric on the back of the hoop we will flip it down to be the same as the one on the front, tape it, and then return the hook to the machine, and this will do a stitch to keep everything in place. Now you can see we are adding another piece of fabric to the back. Please make sure to edit the facing down, and the same for the front. Everything is facing down. We have two pieces of fabric on the front, the polar fleece and the cotton, and it stitched it. Now you need to flip it up and do the same for the piece on the back. You basically repeat the same thing as you did for the bottom part, but you have to do the applique on the back, on the bottom part. You can see now everything is stitched down, and you have all the lines. So this part is done. You will take everything out, remove the tape, and put it aside for the next part. As you can see, we are using tearaway. We added the tearaway stabilizer into the hoop again and loaded the front part of the zip bag. It will do the contour on the stabilizer. We already prepared two pieces of fabric, the polar fleece and the cotton. We tape it down so it stays in place. And now we will do the applique on the corners. Of course, after this contour that sets everything in place, we will do the applique just like we did for the back, and then move on to do the bunny applique. So here you can see it already made the stitches for the first applique piece. And did you notice the bunny in the back? It is the bunny frenzy stuffy. It's like she's watching us to make her an assorted zip bag. After the piece of fabric is stitched down, you have to carefully cut around for the applique. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but you may have noticed we are not cutting all around the applique, so we are leaving the edges as they are. We are only cutting the interior of the applique, that's in the interior of the bag. So here it does the second part for the splash, and we will do the same. So the edges are not cut. And now it does the contour for the face of the bunny. We place a piece of fabric, and then it will stitch it down, and then we are cutting around a lot of applique parts, but the result is really very cute. So this work is so worth it. You may have noticed that we did not cut the bottom part, that is the neck area. So really anything that is outside the contour of the zip bag, we will not cut. Now we are adding the pieces of fabric for the ears. And we cut around them, like I said, leaving the bottom part right there. And now back to the machine to do the contour for the eyes. And we are adding some white fabric. It will stitch it down, and then we cut all around this new collection that we called Frenzies. It has big eyes, and the eyes are done as appliques, so to shorten the time for the embroidery and to consume less thread. So you have the applique for the white part of the eyes, and then you have another applique for the black part of the eyes. Like I said, lots of appliques, but then it cuts on the time for embroidery. So we wanted to give you this kind of option also. Again, cut around it very carefully and as close as you can. Clean everything up using the tape like I showed you in another video. And now it will do the cheeks. Of course, they are applique. This is the stitch for placing the fabric. We added some small pieces of fabric. If you have a single needle machine, I highly recommend taping everything down when you do applique, or add a bigger piece of fabric and hold it with your hand, but make sure not to place it in front of the needle. Remove the hoop and cut around those cheeks, and there you have it. You will add the wash away stabilizer so the embroidery does not sink in. This is a plastic film that is soluble in water. And now some speed embroidery for the face. As you can see, it did the teeth, the mouth, nose, and then it went on with the eyes. You can skip the eyelashes if you want, so it looks more boyish. And the satin stitching around the head and around all the pieces of fabric that we added for this applique. We use some variegated thread for a nice effect. And after all this is done, we remove the tape and all the wash away stabilizer. And now you will have to add the back. So make sure you are aligning all the edges of the back. Patience is key on this step. And after everything is aligned, you tape it down to hold it in place, return the hook to the machine, and it will do the stitch that joins the front and the back together. It goes all around. Remember, the front piece only has fabric on the front of the hook, so there's nothing on the back, and that is why right now we are going to add another piece of cotton. So this will be uh, for the, how do I say this, the interior of the front, so it is fully lined. And now it will do the final contour, and you will see it will leave a little opening for you to be able to turn this project around. This piece of fabric was placed right side facing down. And now this is done, we remove everything from the hoop, all the tape and remove the project from the hoop. And now we need to cut around, so we leave that opening, we cut around the corners and all around it. And you leave this part a little bit longer. You will have to remove the stabilizer, tear it away. You may also want to clip the corners, so it's easier to turn. And after everything is turned, use your scissors or a pencil, a pen, something to push those corners, and take the project to your sewing machine and close that gap. Make sure that everything inside is pushed out of the way and you only sew those two pieces of cotton. And now you remove the stabilizer from the zipper, you clean up everything, and you turn the zip back inside out. And this is the way it looks at the end. I'm so happy you've been here with me, and now you know how this zipper bag was created and how you should do it. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe, and comment if you have any ideas for other zip bag, or if you would like to see more tutorials from us or have any suggestions. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.